All right, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about 5 tools for better managing your ADHD at work. If you've not been here before, my name is Matt. I'm a therapist in private practice. I also do ADHD coaching. I have a clinical practice. I have a coaching platform. All of it is under the name of Progress, PRGRS. We have Progress Therapy. We've got Progress Coaching. If you're interested in that, there's a link down below in the description. You can check that out. And yeah, just a side note, we recently launched the Progress Coaching, and this is an online community where we help folks manage ADHD and executive function issues. There are discussions, there's like study hall sessions, there's a whole database of tools and videos and things like that. Again, in the description, there's a link. But without further ado, let's talk about these tools for managing ADHD at work. Now, you can follow along. These are my notes here. And there's a couple of things that we're going to go through today. And the first is kind of just keeping this main point in mind, is that whenever we're thinking about managing ADHD or any executive function issue, we're towing the line between between acceptance and change. What do I mean by that? When we think about these two things, acceptance is basically coming to terms with some of the limits that we deal with, right? So for example, if we're forgetful due to our ADHD, right, we can work on it and we can, there's tools and skills we can learn to improve our memory, but there's a level of acceptance that needs to occur where to some degree, I just have issues with memory. Okay. And so we're kind of towing that line. And you'll see how we kind of think about that throughout the rest of the video. So for example, if we're thinking about that, what would that look like in practice, towing this line between acceptance and change with memory as our issue? Well, on one hand, with memory, we might then deploy skills and strategies to remember things. So again, just an example, maybe we're putting Post-it notes in places so we remember things. Maybe we are using alarms and reminders, right? So we're working on improving the memory. The other part, the acceptance part, we might go to an employer and say, hey, listen, one of the things I deal with is short-term memory. And so I'm going to need some accommodations for that. It will really help me if I'm allowed to stick Post-it notes all over my office, right? Just an example. But that comes with a level of acceptance, right? Not just change. So that's what we're going to think about as we go through the rest of these tools. And that's something you should always be thinking about when managing ADHD or any other issue for that matter, okay? Now, there's no particular order, so let's just start with the first one. So the first tool I want people to know about is something called askjan.org. It's called the Job Accommodations Network. I will leave a link down below in the description. This will put you in tune with the accommodations that you are legally allowed to ask for from your employer. And you can filter this through different issues. So if you have ADHD and you go to askjan.org, you can search for ADHD and it will tell you what accommodations your job has to provide for you. And a lot of people don't think about this, especially when dealing with ADHD. They go to the change aspect. What can I do to make it better? What can I do to improve so that I do really well at work? Now that's fine to work on those things, but people often benefit significantly from accommodations, and that's more of the acceptance part. All right, so Ask Jan gives you a starting point to know what accommodations you can ask for. All right, so I would encourage you to check that out, and just even if you don't want to do it, be familiar with what you're entitled to if you have ADHD or any other issue. Okay. Another tool that we want to have at work is a strong calendar system. Now I know a lot of workplaces will, give you access to a calendar or whatever it might be, and if that works for you, that's great. But you want a calendar that really captures everything. Okay, one you can organize, one you can filter, one you can access from your phone, one that integrates with all your other tools, and one that I found that works really, really well is Notion Calendar. Okay, Notion is what we're going to talk about next, but they just released a calendar and it syncs with all your Google calendars. It curates it into one place. It allows you to highlight a section on the calendar and send a link to people to schedule a meeting with you. You can manage multiple Gmail accounts. You can have a task manager built in. You can do a lot with this calendar, and I find it to be fairly simple to use, fairly intuitive, but it really is good for organizing. Okay. Now, like I always share with people, it's rare that we find a tool that is just out of the box ready to go. Any of the systems you choose, whether it be the ones I recommend today or any other one, you're most likely going to have to spend some time learning how to use it. All right. But Notion Calendar works really, really well. And then that kind of segues me into another tool that you'll need to really thrive at work, which is a task management system. Okay. And a task management system is basically a system for prioritizing what you need to do and when. Okay. Now, there's a lot of models for this. There's not just one correct way. A commonly used task management system, though, for prioritizing is what's known as the Eisenhower matrix. This allows people to decide what's a priority, what's urgent, what's not urgent. I have videos about that I can link down below. But you do want some sort of system, a digital system preferably, that allows you to have all your tasks written out. And then it also allows you to filter it through urgency or priority based on the system that you've chosen. And Notion is very, very flexible. It's a great tool. It allows you to build a custom task management system. I actually created a task management system for Notion. It's a template that you can download. If you join the community, the Progress Coaching, you'll have access to that as part of the membership there. Again, link down below in the description. But it is a great tool for being able to create a task management system. All right. Other things you'll need are fidget. I put fidget gadget. I work primarily with adults. They don't want to call these things fidget toys, but rather fidget gadgets. A lot of my clients and people I've worked with have a hard time sitting still, and they try to just white knuckle it, put their hands in their pocket, fold their hands, put them on their desk. It doesn't work well. So to have a discrete fidget gadget can be really, really helpful. The one I use often is this one that you can see here on the screen. You can find it on Amazon. Again, I'll leave a link to it down below. If it's not that, it could be something like a piece of jewelry. It could be a pen that just sits on your desk. That works well too. I realized that holding that up in front of the camera made me go out of focus. And can we get that back? Yes. Okay. And so I would encourage you to have a few different fidget gadgets that work for you. And then another thing I'd like to encourage people to think about for their workplace is noise canceling headphones. A lot of us work in co-working spaces or shared spaces, and it can be really hard to find some peace and quiet to get our work done. An accommodation you could ask for would be to have kind of a more quiet section of the office or an office or something like that. However, I know that for some people it's not possible. You might live in a big city where space is limited. If that's the case, then having a quality pair of headphones that are noise canceling can really at least create some sort of internal space that drowns out the distractions and the noises around you. So I always encourage folks to have a good pair of noise canceling headphones. And I did want to keep this video on the briefer side today and not overwhelm anyone. But these are 5 tools, 5 ways that people with ADHD could, improve their work environment. Okay. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you learned something. And I will see you in the next video.